We are going to start today with more better concepts of OOP, more better advantages of OOP. Why we should actually be using OOPs is not because we can create our own data structures, we can store all the data, real world objects inside the programs, but the more important features again of OOP is that these four pillars are there. What are these four pillars? Encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance and polymorphism. These 4 points will give so much of advantage of using OOPs that you can build solid rigid softwares, scalable softwares. So there are lots of other benefits of OOPs, okay, that your code design will improve, your code will become more robust, your code debugging will become much more easier, finding errors will become much more easier because you have written code by dividing it into class, then again functions and all those kind of stuff. Then your code's security will improve because lots of features are there in OOPs like abstraction, encapsulation, which will help you to improve the security level of your code. Readability will increase, people will be able to read in more better way. So these are some of the advantage of OOPs which you have, and the 4 pillars will bring in more advantage of OOPs. Okay, so let me talk about something very special before starting with that. Can someone tell me why we will have to create an object of a class? What's the need? What will happen if we don't create an object of a class? Are you getting the point what I am trying to say? You guys are there or no? If you don't know, just say no. Don't know, okay? But don't sit like this. If you want to sit like this itself, then go and watch recorded lecture. Why do you come for live class? Okay. So my question was, why should you create an object? Fast. Don't waste time.
Any variable or object.
Sorry, what?
To access objects of that class.
You're saying something, I'm not able to hear it well. Can you just repeat?
To access any variable or object of that class.
Completely correct. Okay. What she told is 100% true, because we create object itself because only object is the person who has access to all the functions and the attributes that are available inside a class. No object, then you cannot call any function that is there inside a class. No object, you cannot call print any variable that is there inside the class from outside the class. Okay, so if you want to access, you will have to create an object first, we told. But there is an exception here. Okay, what if, my question is, yes, we have learned till now here, but what if we want to, without creating object also, we want to access some functions of a class? Is there a way to do that? Is my question. There is a separate way to do that. Okay, so till now whatever I have taught you are right, so that is why I told there is an exception here, that some things are there, some functions can be accessed even without creating an object of a class. Not attributes I am talking, but some functions can be accessed even without creating an object of a class. That means that these functions can be called without creating an object of a class. These functions have been given a special name that is called as static functions. Static functions. Okay, so what are these static functions? These are basically functions. These are functions, normal functions itself, which are available inside class, which are in class. Okay, available inside a class. But beauty is that these functions can be called without creating an object of a class. Very simple. Okay, I think nothing much difficult. Let me put it in docstring. You already know about this thing, I have already told. FUBN. These are very special because of this purpose. Okay, they can be called without creating the object of a class. So these are basically called as static functions. How do you create this? So we can create it. Let's take an example. Let's create a class God. Okay, I wrote. Let's not create God, but let's do one thing just to show this. Okay, I'll create a simple class animal. We want to store animals, let's say. So I'll create a simple class animal. Okay, this is how we do it. Let's create some functions. Let's create a class, not animal. Let's create a class for dog. Def, maybe dog will bark, so we'll say bark, and it will accept some parameter self by default, and maybe I'll say let's say nothing. Let's print maybe pow 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 pow. Okay, this is how dogs will bark. So that's it, and not much. I don't want to do much inside this. Okay. So let me create one more also, eat, and maybe print eating. Okay, two classes are there, dog can eat and dog can bark. Okay, so inside this, let's create a object dog. This is how you create it, and dog. Okay, whatever name you give doesn't matter, but I have given here this side, left side you give whatever name, doesn't matter. It's just a reference variable pointing towards the object. This is basically here class name. I have not created any constructor here, but you can create it because last class we have seen in depth about constructors and all, right. Why there is a need for it, what is the need of self keyword, all this stuff was covered in the last class completely. That must have made things more clear. We have created nothing much difficulty here. Dog, if we do dog dot bark, it will work, it will print, nothing much different. Okay, it is working as it should work as usual. Python oops.py, yes, it is printing bow bow. Okay, no issues, nothing much unexpected. What if I want to call this bow bow function, bark function, without creating object? In this method I will have to convert this normal method into a static method now, because I told you right here, static methods are those methods which can be called without creating an object. Okay, so if you want to call some functions without creating an object, then you can create a static functions inside a class. How to make this function now static? You should just write a decorator. What are decorators? I'll take separate class for that for in Python, and what are quarks and decorators and all those kind of stuff. You should just write here, this is a static method. That's it. static, my bad spelling mistake, static method. Now once I write, before the function you should write, okay, before the function just put @ sign and then write static method. If you write this right, now what it will do, it will consider this function what is there below that static, right, as static method, and you can call this function now without even creating an object. Okay, how you can call it? Let me comment out this, guys. Okay, call bark without creating an object. Okay, how to call it? Just write the class name dog dot bark. That's it. You will be calling. You will be this function will be called. We have not created an object. See here, you know the object syntax to create an object, right? You should write this class name like this, and then you should basically store it in some variable. That is how you create an object. We have not created an object. We have just written class name dot bark, and that's it. This function will be called. Okay, it is accepting some parameter which is self, so I can pass here dog itself, or else what I can do is I can just remove from here, because it is a static method, right, and static method, every function in the class accepts the parameter self, right? What is this self? Self is basically an object itself, right? But we are calling this function without creating an object, so I can say that this function is not going to accept any self, okay, because no object only is there, then what self you will pass? Self is actually an object itself, right? So only for static methods you can remove those self keyword, okay, because it is not depending on object itself, and self is completely related to object. So that's it. I hope you got to learn this, guys, and these things and all. I've seen people asking in interviews and all questions. Okay, what are static methods and all those kind of stuff. So if that is done, let's learn now something very special, which is 4 pillars of OOPS. Now, can you tell me 4 pillars of OOPS? Which those are? 4 pillars of OOPS. Come on. First pillar of OOPS. Come on.
Polymorphism.
Okay, you told polymorphism. We will study polymorphism then today. Polymorphism. Next.
Inheritance.
Inheritance is there. Again, 2 are there. Which are those?
Encapsulation.
Encapsulation. Don't forget this one, sir. Encapsulation. And last one is data abstraction or abstraction, whatever you want to call it. Okay, these all concepts will be used when you are creating Java mobile applications, when you are creating some backend using some Java or .NET. All you will see everywhere these concepts are used. OOPS concept, creating class, creating models, all this stuff itself you will be doing. So these are the 4 important topics which are there, out of which we will be studying 2 today and 2 tomorrow. Okay, so I hope you first of all understood about static methods, what's the need of static method, why we have static methods. Sometimes if you get some case, okay, where you want to call a function without creating an object, you don't want to create an object, sometimes, okay, such case happens, such problem you land over, where you got an issue where you don't have to want to create an object, but you want to call some function. That time you can convert that function as static methods. Okay, static methods are a solution for that. This is very important. Okay, and then we are going to study these 2 cases today, and then tomorrow we will basically see these 2 also. Okay, so what is polymorphism? First of all, we will go for inheritance. So in simplest terms, inheritance you must be already knowing. So I will not explain more about this, but it's very simple because it's nothing which you all need more explanation, because it happens with human beings also. We human beings, whoever are there, right? Human beings, I hope you all will agree that we will inherit some properties from our mother, father, or from our previous generation. Okay, so you itself ask yourself whether you have inherited some properties from your father. Yes, I have inherited the face structure like my father, maybe the color from my mom and dad. So lots of things. My hair color is also similar to them. My nose is similar to them. So both you must have heard this saying, right? That he looks more like his father. His nose looks more like his grandfather. Okay, it's not like you are inheriting only from mom and dad. Okay, you are inheriting from previous generations also. Previous generations, not only one generation. You must have seen that some people inherit even from the grandfathers. Some people inherit even from the grandfather's grandfather. Okay, so it can be multiple levels. It's not like only you have to take some properties from your mother, father. It can be from anyone, not anyone, but from your previous generations. So I don't know. Somewhere I had read that your body has memory. Not only your mind can remember all the things, but whatever your mind remembers, right, that is very limited. Because if I ask you, if your how was your grandfather's if you have not, I'm talking, let's not talk about grandfather. How was the days of your grandfather's grandfather? Okay, how was they living and all, how he was looking. I'm not talking about a photo. Like if you have a photo, then it's a different case. But generally, you can see only his maybe face inside photo, but how he was talking and all. Do you remember that? If I ask you from your mind, if I just ask you, do you remember that? You will not have any answer for it because you have not seen only. You have not seen only, then what do you remember? So your mind remembers only things which are seen in this life, in this life, not the previous life where you were in. So some might be asking, will there be a previous life also? I don't know. but I can tell you one thing, that your body remembers a lot. See, just think of this. Your body remembers how the nose of your grandfather. This is little bit weird, right? That you must have seen, right, that some grandfathers are, some kids are having the nose like their grandfather. That means that your mind must have not remembered all the things of your grandfather, but your body has remembered the nose, and it is representing it on your. It is represented on your body. So I hope you got the point. Your body is has, even your body parts has memory, and it can remember lots of stuff than your mind. Okay, so that is what I wanted to tell. So the whole point is that we inherit from one another, right? So that is what we have in classes also. If you want to inherit something from some other class, then you can use this concept of inheritance. Okay, very beautiful concept, widely used concept, because lots of scenarios you might land up in situations where there is a class, and inside that there is a function bar, and then the question would be, why do you want to create another function bar? I'll just call that function bar which is already existing inside some other class, right? I'll just say, hey class, I want to inherit some function from you. I want to extract some function from you. Please give me that function, because I don't want to write it again one time. Why to waste time again writing again one time? Hey, I'll just inherit it from you and I'll just call it. Such cases you will be basically using inheritance. Okay, let's try to implement it and see. Let's say I create a general class of animal. Okay, now when I just create a class of animal, right, there are different types of animals which I can produce with the help of this class. But in previous example, I can produce only dogs because I had created a class dog. Only dogs can be created from this class. But here I have created a class animal, more general. I am not specific, I am more general. So if I have created an animal class, that means that I can create any animal from this class. But your question would be, hey man, all the animals are but way different. Not only in terms of color, how many teeth they have, what kind of animal they are, whether carnivorous or herbivorous, then maybe what is the size, maybe how they bark, how they walk, how they eat, everything is different. There are very less similarities and more differences that are available. So what you do in such case, whatever the similarities are there, right, that all similarities you write it inside this class, which is called as parent class. Inheritance, these two words comes up with inheritance, okay, which is called as parent class, and it is actually a process of acquiring some properties from the parent class. Okay, so inheriting some properties from the parent class or base class. So this parent, there are two classes. In inheritance, what happens is there are two classes. One class which is called as parent class parent, and one class which is called as base class. This is also called as child class, this is also called as parent class. You can call it with whatever names, but whole point to understand that not a parent will not inherit some property from child. Never do this. Always a child will inherit some properties from parents. Okay, but reverse is not possible. A parent will never inherit parent will never inherit any property from its base class. Okay, different names that are given is basically, I told you, right, which is called as parent class. Okay, parent class is also called as, base class I wrote wrong. Okay, base class here, it is not here. Parent class or base class, base means top class, and child class, this guy is called as basically the child class. Okay, so always a child class will inherit some properties from its base class or from its parent class. The reverse is never possible. Okay, one important point to understand in inheritance. Okay, then when to use it? You will be using it when like, let's say if you wanted to create classes. If you wanted to create a class for all the animals, okay, then what you would do? Your option 1 would be to create a class for a dog, option 1 would be to create a class for sheep, for cow, for buffalo, for cat, for all these classes, for all these different animals, you can create a class. But you may ask yourself one question, hey, these all are animals, no man, but I can create different classes. That's one way of solving this problem. I can basically create different classes for all the different animals that are available. But just think of this little. some properties will be similar, right, in all animals. What I mean to say is, in all animals, at least some properties will be there which will be similar. Some properties will be same. Okay. For example, four eyes, legs, maybe two eyes. Some properties are there which are similar. So that time what you do is you actually create a parent class. Create a parent class and mention all the similar properties in parent class. Mention all similar properties in parent class. Why to mention all the similar properties in parent class? Because all the similar properties will create only once, okay, and we can directly inherit those in all the animals which we are creating. We don't have to write it again one time. Same properties we don't want to write it in every class, right? Because dog also has 4 legs, so I don't want to write this all 4 legs everywhere in every class. So in every animal class. So what I will do is I will create a general animal class, and whatever the similar properties are there, right, those I will put it inside animal class, and whatever unique properties are there, right, for example, maybe dog barks separately, maybe some extra features that are available, like the carnivores, herbivores and all this kind of stuff. These are very generic, right, so specific to these animals, right. So these features I can basically add, or these attributes and methods I can basically add inside every animal class. So here my question is, which is the base class and which is the child class? Can someone tell me which is base class, which is the animal class in this example what we were discussing right now? What happens here? Snail, what happened? Are you able to hear or no? Now you are not able to hear me? Hello? Are you able to hear me or no, first of all?
Yes, you
Yes,
are
audible.
audible.
Okay. So, I created animal class, I created two other classes which is dog and which is cow, and animal class के अंदर I have added all those properties which are similar properties to every animal. Like for example, similar is basically eyes property is similar, and walking, every animal will do walking, right? So these are some of the similar properties which are there, which I have put it inside animal class, and all the different properties which differ from every animal to animal. They are not similar, they differ from every animal to animal, right? Those properties I put it inside every animal class. Okay, for example, barking, this one barks, this one eats non-veg and veg, this one basically speaks, this will not bark, this will basically eat something else. So some things which is different from others, right? That I have basically put inside this one. So this is how you do it. And only a child class can extract some properties from the base class, and vice versa is not true. Okay. So even multiple level inheritance can be there. You can extract properties from its grandfather class also. Okay, no issues with that. Let's create an object. I'll create an object of, let's say, dog class. Okay, I want to create a dog. This is how you do it. Dog is basically equals to this. But now here inheritance is not applied. Okay, how do you actually say that this class is inheriting some properties from this class? By passing the class name here, parent class name here. You pass the parent class name here. In this line you pass the parent class name from where you want to inherit the properties. Now dog can inherit some properties from its parent class, which is animal class. Okay, for example, I have created dog. So dog dot, if I say bark, let's call dog bark function, and it should bring bow bow because it is the function that is available in dog class itself. So nothing much new inside this, we have already done it before. What if I want to call this function? Yes, this function also you can call. Okay, so let's say I want to call this function. The way you can call this function is with the help of one keyword which is called as super keyword. Okay, so one keyword is there which is super keyword, like this, or super function is used to call functions of base class from parent class. So from parent class you can call the functions of base class with the help of super function. For example, let's say I want to call this function here. I'll just do super dot this guy walk. Okay, dot, sorry, I should write like this, super dot walk, like this. Okay, so now this means that it will call this function. Let's execute it and see. It is printing bow only. Come on, what happened? Can do something. This also here. Okay, so I can call something like this also because this class is inherited, right? This dog class now access to all the functions that are available inside this class, right? So even you can do it like this. Okay, this dog now, this dog object has access to all the parent class functions also directly. Dog dot walk, and all the eat and all which is available, these functions at least you can call directly with the help of that object. But even you can directly call these methods with the help of the object, like this. Okay, but super is also one way to basically call it. If you want to call it inside another function, so what do I mean is, inside this function, if you want to call this function which is from parent class, so if you want to call one function which is a function of parent class inside a child class, I want to call this function walk, which is a function of parent class, and I want to call this function inside which class? This class, dog class, and inside that there is a function eat, and inside this I want to call this function. So I can use this method super. I don't know, I should write it this way, I feel. Let's comment out that one. Something is going wrong. Self def eat. Okay, so sorry. I will have to first of all call eat function, because whenever eat will be called right, whenever you will call eat right, this function will be executed. And inside this function, you are calling which function? You are calling walk function. So if you want to call another function from another class inside one function, that means inside this function you are calling another function which is of base class. That time you will be using this word super. Okay, and if you want to directly call it, you can call, because object has access to all the attributes. So using object, you can obviously call any function if you want. Super has no attribute walk, so I think I forgot these words like this. It's a function. So now see, you're getting eating both one non-veg and veg, because this function was called here and here, this line. And using super keyword, you can basically call this function. So I told you two different ways of calling accessing properties of base class. One was directly the object. Okay, so you can just like write like this also. Dog dot eyes, print dog dot eyes. Let's see. Because eyes is defined in parent class, animal class, and we have created an object of dog class. Eyes is defined here, so but still it will work, because we have inherited, right? Using this syntax, we have inherited, so it will work. Okay, this is how you can access the properties of any base class inside the parent class. And another way to do this is with the help of super keyword. Super will not work for attributes. Super is only for calling the functions. Okay, so with the help of super function, you can call any other function that is available inside the base class or the parent class. Is that clear? Should I sit quiet and teach without speaking or what? So that you all will understand more better. I will not speak anything. I will just sit quietly, and that is how itself, without uttering a single word from my mouth, I will just start teaching. Okay? I think you all will understand that time, right? You all will really, that time also I think you all will get. So how I will have to speak something from my mouth to make you understand something. Similarly, you will have to speak something from your mouth to make me understand whether you have understood or not understood. I hope this is a fundamental rule of human beings, and we all know this, that this mouth, whatever is there, is basically given to everyone so that we can speak and tell other person what is going inside our mind. I hope you all will use this mouth at right places at right times. So hoping right now that you all will use it and you all will inform me. That's it. I am done with my lecture. Come on, I want you to answer now. Come on, fast. What was told is clear, understood, not understood, what's just tell me. You are able to hear me now properly? What I told? Hello?
Yes.
And then speak now, you will have mouth for what? No, this is sounding very cute, funny. I am feeling to laugh. Like what you are using your mouth for, then what you have kept it closed for. At least if you don't know, I have already told, right? I am not expecting any answer every time. I am expecting whether you understood, not understood, no at least, wrong answer at least, something. So what was told, you understood or not? First of all, inheritance. Tell no. If you did not understand, say no. What's there in that?
Understood little bit.
So you tell no if you did not understand. You say no, I did not understand. No, I will not feel bad that you did not understand. Instead, I will feel good that you at least told that you did not understand. You did not keep it with yourself and went. So that we can at least clarify what you have not understood, what you have understood. Aishwarya understood little bit. Okay, fine. What about others? Till you, Snehal understood. Okay. Others, remaining 4 people. So remaining 4 people, I hope you all are watching. You have not kept for the sake of you are not attending for the sake of attending, right? You have not kept the mobile. Neha, you are there?
I also understood little bit.
Okay, little bit. Okay, Neha. Neha is not there. Okay, Prakash.
Understood but not much.
Then you tell me no. If you don't tell me, then you will be filled up with doubts and you will take and go. Why you are wasting your 500 rupees without getting your concepts cleared? If you are giving let's build 500 rupees, then you should make best use of that. You should clear and go all your concepts. If you don't ask, who will tell you? In this world, no, you remember one fundamental rule. It will be not given to you until you ask. No one will give. Don't prejudge, man, like before itself, whether if you want to like ask some help also from anyone. I am not talking about me, from anyone. If you want to ask some help also, don't prejudge anyone saying that he will not help and I'll not ask itself. Don't do that mistake. Who knows, if you don't know that person, okay, sometimes you already know your friends and maybe someone is very arrogant and he will not help you out. That's okay. That time there is no need to ask. But usually what we do, you know, most of the times whom we don't know, people who are unknown to us, right, that time simple places, okay, for example, you are maybe going to travel somewhere and you want to ask someone something. While going, you got stuck somewhere and you want to ask something. We prefer not to ask because you might be feeling that that person might not help. Arey, why you are prejudging him? So if you don't ask, please do remember that it will be not given to you. If you at least ask right once, then maybe it might be given or maybe it might be not given. At least option will appear. Maybe 0.1% chance is there that maybe that front person might explain once more, or front teacher might tell you once more in better way. Front person might help you, front person might do and give you, front person might tell you how he did it and all those kind of stuff. If you ask, at least 1.1% chance is there. If you did not ask, no, then there is no question. There is 100% guarantee that it will be not given to you. He will never help you out. So if you don't know anything, no, you ask, no. Why I have already cleared all these points, right? Why you are thinking you are speaking as if in front of a professor? I completely understand that sometimes in front of professor you might be feeling very awkward to ask because he might shout, or you might be little bit insulted in front of the class. You might be feeling little bit ashamed. Okay, that's fine. But I think you all are like friends to me, right? Not my students. We all are friends, right? So I think here we can have open discussion. If you want me to discuss on some random project, we can discuss. if you want to discuss on some random topic other than technical thing, we can discuss, because this is just a conversation which we are having, and I am sure that you all are learning through all this kind of stuff. Neha, you are there. Okay, so you understood or no? I think I am not sure you are understanding or not, because if your functions concepts are not clear, right? Until you watch all those from, I am sure you are not understanding, because you had not watched functions video itself, so there was no way you could have understood classes. So I hope you will watch those videos whichever have been shared fast, and then you will basically join with this space. Okay. So I am sure that's what I told, right? You will not get, because if you miss some basics concepts, right, you will not get this concepts. There is no way. OOPS is an advanced concept in any programming language. This is not an intermediate class. This is a little bit advanced class. Okay. So for this, your basics has to be right. You watch as much you can watch all those videos. You watch so that you can understand whatever is going on live. I hope you will finish up fast. And if you have any doubts in those videos, if you face any problems, difficulties, anything you did not understand in those videos, please do message. I will be always there to help. So, in this class, what we were discussing is very simple thing, which is 4 pillars of OOPS, and one of that pillar of OOP is inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? Basically means that we want to extract some properties from some parent class. Where do we want to extract those? Inside your child class. So what is this child class and what is this parent class? Sometimes what will happen, when we are creating classes, okay, let's say if you want to create a vehicle object, vehicle class, okay, car is also a vehicle, JCB is also a vehicle, crane is also a vehicle, bike is also a vehicle. So there are different options for you to available in classes. Okay, you can create a car class if you want to create a car. If you want to create maybe this one, a two-wheeler, so you will create two-wheeler class, bike class. If you want to create a crane, you will create a crane class. If you want to create a truck class, you will create. If you want to create maybe JCB, you will create a JCB class. My point is, you can create all these classes, no doubts in that, okay, but these all are vehicles only, no? All these are belonging to a common breed which is called as vehicles. You create an animal class, you create a cow class, you create a dog class, you create a cat class, you create a cheetah class, you create a tiger class, you create basically a lion class. What I am saying is, yes, you can create all these classes, but we can also, another way of looking at it is, we can say that all these are animals. So is there a way that we can create one animal class instead of creating all these different animal class? Some people might say yes, there might be a way. Some people might say no, there might be not be a way, because these all the animals are there, right? There are way different properties that are available inside these animals. Huge differences are there. Like they eat herbivorous, herbivorous and carnivorous. Different is there. Then some people completely differ in their attitude, how they are, what kind of voice they produce. Different. Some animals at least are will come outside during night time. Some animals will be there during daytime. But what I am trying to say you is, there are huge differences between these two. Okay, so we cannot create one animal class. Instead, what we can create is, we can create one animal class and all the similar properties that are available in all these animals, right? Or all the similar properties that are available in all the vehicles. There's all similar properties, you can write it inside the parent class. All similar properties, you can write it inside the parent class. Okay, and in base class, what you will write? Base class means which class? If I want to create vehicles, okay, so if I could have created one vehicle class, and inside that vehicle class I could have written some base properties, like maybe what is the most common thing that is available in all vehicles? Maybe headlights, so I can write headlights. Steering, not steering because bikes don't have steering, so maybe we can write they run, they walk, they can be driven by someone. There has to be one driver that should be there inside every vehicle, any vehicle you take. So all these common properties should be written inside vehicle class. and all the different new properties which are available, right? For example, this vehicle is two-wheeler, this vehicle is multi-wheeler, this vehicle is basically works on diesel, this vehicle works on petrol. All the different unique properties that are available, right? That you can create different classes for that. For example, you can create one vehicle class and you can create multiple other classes. Like you may create, if you want to create a two-wheeler, you can create a two-wheeler class. If you want to create a JCB, you can create a JCB class. If you want to create a truck, you can create a truck class. Such multiple classes you create, but all these actually belong to one common class which is called as vehicle class. Will you agree? At least this much?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we are generalizing things. Okay, instead of from till now what we were doing, we were specifically telling that we will create only a class of dog, we will create only a class of car, but now we are trying to generalize things. Generalize means what? Like vehicle is, if we are creating a car, we may tomorrow create a bike also, right? We may try to create something else also. But all these are actually belonging to vehicles. It's a common breed. These all are belonging to a common thing which is vehicles. So that time we use this two classes, okay? Where one we create a vehicle class and one we create multiple child classes. So you can create a class for JCB, for different vehicles you can create different classes. Similarly, in case of animals, you can create one animal class, and inside that animal class what you should write? All the similar properties that are available in all the animals, and you will create different animal classes. Very simple. So if you want to, let's say, create maybe not only animals and this, let's say you can create a person class, a person, and then you can create different classes for students, for employees and all this kind of stuff, for teachers, because even teacher is a student, teacher is a human being. So you can create a human being class or a person class, and then you can create different human beings. Maybe a teacher is a human being, so you can create a teacher class. If you want, a person is a human being, so student is a human being, so you can create a student class. Child is a human being, so you can create a child class. Employees, all these are used in softwares, okay, when you are creating softwares. So employees is a human being, so you can create employees class. But all these classes will extract some properties from the human being class. Why? Because all are human beings, and if all are human beings, they have some common properties in them. If all are vehicles, they have some common properties in all those vehicles. If all are animals, all the animals at least have some common properties in them. So why will you write those properties in every animal class? If you want to create 100 animal class, then why you want to write I is equals to 2 in every 100 classes? Because that is common. No, why you are simply wasting your rewriting the same code again and again? Let's say all animals will eat. Why do you want to write the eat function in every 100 animal classes which you want to create different animal classes? You can write only one time one function, no, inside one standard class which is generalized class which is called as animal class, and you can just call that class from the base classes, from the child classes. You can just call those classes, you can just call those functions that are available you have created. What do I mean is, when you want to create human beings, so human being class you create, generalize it. All human beings will have 2 hands, 2 legs. Why do you, if you want to use this property, 2 hands and 2 legs, inside even child class, inside even human person class, employee class, and inside even this one, who is this guy, student and teacher classes, all these also belonging to same class, right? Why do you want to rewrite this same properties again and again in every different human beings? Create one class which is human being class, and whichever common properties are there, put it inside that class, and whichever unique properties are there, that you write it inside every human being class. Like in student class you can write whatever student properties are there, in teacher class you write whatever teacher properties are there, but some properties which are common in student and teacher, those you can put it inside human being class. Why? Because both teacher and student belongs to human beings class. We can say that they inherit some properties from human beings, because both are human beings itself. That time you will be using this concept of inheritance. First of all, you understood the concept. If you did not understand, I can explain it again one time. Different example. Silence again. I told you, use your mouth to speak.
Understood.
At right time, at right places. Aishwarya understood. Okay. Snehal?
Understood.
If you did not understand, there is no need to feel little also shame about anything, okay?
About anything, okay? That
Snail mic. So there is no need to think that 2 times he explained and still I did not understand. If I ask one more time, I don't know what he might feel. This feeling will come from teacher. I am not your teacher, okay? So your friend will explain you 10 times also. That is not an issue, I feel. So if you did not understand still, that's completely okay. We all are different human beings, right? Everyone's understanding capacity is different. Everyone's talents are different. Everyone's way of understanding is different. Everyone's skills are different. Everyone's maturity levels are different. Everyone's knowledge is different at different levels. So it's okay. You might not understand sometimes. So you just tell me. No. If you tell me, I can explain you. Aditya, Sejal.
Understood.
Fine. So let's see how to code this. For coding, what I did is I created an animal class, and whatever common properties are there, for example, all animals have 2 eyes. There is no animal which is having only 1 eye. How much I know, at least. I don't know if there is an exception, but all animals have 2 eyes. So whatever common properties are there in all animals, I wrote it basically inside the animal class. All animals will walk? No. There is no animal which will not walk. Walk includes crawling. Okay. So all animals will walk. I created a function which, because this is common to everyone. So if I actually maybe I had to do something like this. If I was not creating animal class, then I had to write this function everywhere. I had to write here also that dog also will walk, cow also will walk. Imagine I want to create 100 animals, different 100 animals I want to create. Simply why you are rewriting this code walk again and again? Why? It's a common property for all the animals. So instead of doing this, create a base class. Instead of doing this, all this kind of stuff, create one base class which is called as animal class, because it is generally this property walking belongs to all the animals and it is common to all the animals. So I'll create one general animal class, and inside this I will write this. And now if you want to use it inside this class dog, if you want to use it inside this class cow, just call this function. Call this function walk. Before calling, first of all, you will have to inherit the properties from animal class. How to inherit properties from animal class or from any parent class? By writing the word class name here. Parent class name should be written here. Here also I will write parent class name. If I write the parent class name here, now it basically means that this is how you do inheritance in Python. It basically means that cow class can access all the methods, can access all the attributes that are available inside animal class. Cow class has the right to access or to print, to execute all the functions, all the attributes that are available inside animal class. This is the advantage. Now you don't have to write again one time walk function. Simply why to write same code again and again? If I want no, I will just call. Just here, I'll just create a dog object. Okay. Create a dog object, or let's create a cow object. Cow, created a cow object, very simple. Now if you want to cow dot eat, if you let's say I want to do cow dot speak. This is the function that is belonging to cow class itself, so very easy to call, you know already, object dot class, and that's it. You can call the function that is available inside any class with the help of dot keyword, and it will work. As it is, Amba, it is working. But what if I want to execute the function that is available in animal class? Can we execute the function that is available in animal class from the cow class? Yes, we can execute. Why? Because here we have written animal. We have written animal means what? We have inherited all the properties. Inherited means what? Extracted all the properties of the animal class into the cow class. That means all the things that is available inside this animal class is just like copy pasting it and pasting it here, same like this. But only thing is, there is no need to do this. Why there is no need to do this? This will be automatically done for you. Why it will be automatically done? Because you have written it has to inherit some properties, and if it is there, if it is automatically done, then you can do cow dot walk like this. You can do cow dot walk. It will work. Animal is walking. You can do cow.eyes also. Cow.eyes too. See here, if I copy paste this code from here, animal class, put it in cow class, you could have done the same thing and it would still work, right? If you could have done cow.walk, it will come to this class cow, it will check this call walk function, it will execute. If it could have cow.eyes, it will come here, it will say eyes equals to 2, it will execute. It could have done, right? But why to repeat this code I am saying, when you can use the concept of inheritance. So create one time this class with all these similar properties, and now you can use it everywhere. You can do it for animal also now. Not animal, sorry, dog is basically equals to dog, and I can do dog dot bark, I can do dog dot walk. See the beauty now, it will work exactly the same way. Bow bow, animal is walking. We did not write the code 2 times now, because we had to write the same code like this then. We had to write it in dog class also, same code, and in cow class also we had to write the same code, and then only it could have worked before. But with the help of inheritance, we stopped this, all this kind of stuff, all the similar properties that are available, we removed it and put it inside a parent class, which is called as animal class, and then we just call it. How do we call it? By using inheritance. Okay, inheritance will say here, this is how you say that this class is inheriting some properties, and that's it. You will get the power to call all this kind of stuff. Is this clear now or no? If it is not clear, we'll go it once again. Different example.
Yes.
It is clear.
Yes.
I want you to do one thing. Assignment, create a person class. Okay, person class, and write some attributes and some methods of person class for every person, which are common to every person, common to every person. Okay, because we are creating a person class. And next what you will have to do is create a employee class and write some functions and methods inside it, and then you should create basically a manager class, maybe not manager, let's say create a student class. Let's create a teacher class. Okay, but will you agree that student and teacher both belongs to person class, and both student and teacher have some similar properties? For example, both are human beings. For example, both can talk. Both teacher and student can talk. For example, both student and teacher wear clothes. For example, both student and teacher can walk. Common properties. These common properties, why do you write separately in student class and teacher class? Create a person class, because both belongs to person class, right? So create a person class and write all the common properties there. And whichever unique properties are there, for example, student may have roll number, teacher doesn't have roll number. Student may have USN, teacher doesn't have USN, right? So student learns from a teacher teaches, whereas student does not teaches. Some unique properties that are available that you can write it inside student class and teacher class. But you will have to create a person class, write some properties, write some methods and attributes there. You will have to create student class also, write some methods and some attributes there. Teacher class also, TEACHER, and write some methods and some attributes inside teacher class also. And you will have to use the inheritance concept. Okay, inherit some properties from the person class inside the student class as well as inside the teacher class, and you will have to print like this those properties. Whichever inherited properties are there, you will have to just print and see. Without doing this, don't come tomorrow. If you are not able to do it, you ask. But without doing this, you don't come tomorrow. Because that will make your inheritance clear. We will go to polymorphism. Is that clear? Whatever I told. Why actually inheritance is required itself? We discussed, no? Similarly,
Yes.
writing of code again and again. Why do you want to do it? Similar.
Yes.
Extract the common properties that are available and put it inside a base class or a parent class. And whatever unique properties are there which belong to every unique object, right? That you put it inside the base class, the child classes. I hope it's very simple. you were able to understand it. If you are not able to understand it, see, I can help you out, no issues, you can ask me. Okay, that's it. If you have any question, you can ask me. I am waiting, but I know the answer, no doubts. Is there any?
Can
Or
we have
say-
multiple parent classes too?
Yes, can multiple? What you say, like multiple parent or multiple child?
Parent.
Parents. See, there are different types of inheritance. Okay, so this is possible. One parent class and many children are extracting some properties. This is possible. Okay, what we studied is this itself. Dog is extracting, one animal class was there and multiple child classes were there. Dog was extracting some properties, cow was extracting some properties, and also some other animal can extract some properties. That is possible. Okay, there can be a scenario like this also. Three different things are there. Sorry, this scenario is not possible. That this one parent class is there. Let's say parent class. This one parent class is there. This one parent class is there, and it is and there is only one child class which is extracting from three parent classes. This scenario is not possible. Okay, so if you just want these will come in types of inheritance. I'll show you types of okay, so it will basically remain same for every language that is there. Okay, it will not differ for every language you go, it will basically remain same, and you use Java or you use Python, doesn't matter, because everything is going to remain same. Okay, that's not going to use or change, but here only changes are syntax. How you are going to write it, that might change. So there are different types, as we discussed. Single inheritance, where nothing but one derived class or one child class is extracting some properties from one base class. Only one class is there. That is called a single inheritance. There is multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Where is okay. Okay, so this is possible. Here it is showed. This is called as multiple inheritance, where there are multiple base classes and only one derived class, which is called as multiple inheritance. Base class 1, base class 2, base class basically means that parent class. Okay, so there are multiple base classes and only one derived class or child class. Okay, so that is called as multiple inheritance. Multi-level inheritance in the sense, it's like you are extracting some properties from your grandfather. Your dad is extracting some properties from your grandfather, and you are extracting some properties from your father. So multiple levels are there, right? So it is called as multi-level inheritance, where we have multiple classes, and one is extracting, others is extracting by someone else. Okay, and there is hierarchical inheritance also, where, as we discussed, we have done this hierarchical inheritance is what we saw now, where only one parent class is there, that was animal class, and we created multiple classes, which is other classes, derived classes, which is the cow class as well as the this one, cow class and the dog class, which we created. So let me write it here. Okay, so types of inheritance. One is single inheritance or singly inheritance, whatever you want to call it, where something like this is happening. Okay, so I'll put the arrow like this, which will indicate that this one okay, from here some properties are coming here. So this is called as base class or parent class, and this is called as child class. Only one class, only one base class, one child class is there, that is called as singly. Then we have multi-level. Multi-level means many levels are there, multiple classes are there, and they are extracting features from each other. So maybe this one is grandfather. From grandfather your dad is extracting some features, and from father you are extracting some features, son, right? There is multiple, as Aishwarya told, multiple inheritance, PLE, multiple inheritance, where there is more than one base class. I think the reverse is not true, somehow some case is not true. Only one base class, sorry, there is only one child class and multiple base classes, base class 2, base class 3, something like this, and these are extracting some properties from like this. Okay, there is only one child class which is extracting some properties from these base classes, and there is one hybrid, oh, what was the name? Hierarchical, sorry. Hierarchical, which we saw, where there is one base class, and we created two different classes for this base class. One is cow class and one is dog class. Okay, so this one is guy's child, this guy's child. Okay, so like this again, one was there, I feel, I'm not sure. Hierarchical, multi-level, multiple, singly, 4, and hybrid inheritance. Okay, so hybrid inheritance is a mixture of the two which we saw, just a minute. Okay, hybrid inheritance is actually a mixture of this guy and this guy. Okay, where same things are there. One base class is there, from that some other properties are coming. It is just a mixture. Only one base class is there, and the two child classes are there. So those are extracting some properties, and there is one more class which is extracting that properties. Sorry, mixture of these two, not these two. Mixture of, I can say, this one. Okay, mixture, or I can say that hybrid. Okay, so it is basically something like this. There is only one base class, as we saw in this one. There is only one base class, there is only one base class in this case also. So I can say this one, mixture of these two, is basically hybrid. Okay, so only one base class which might be extracting some properties like this, and there might be two derived class, which is this type of inheritance. This type of inheritance is actually called as hierarchical inheritance, right? Hierarchical inheritance. This is actually a derived class 1, derived class 2. Okay, and there can be one more class which is derived class 3, which is extracting some properties from these two. Okay, so if you see here, it is actually a combination of this part, whatever we saw, right? This part is actually a hierarchical inheritance, if you notice, but it is also multiple level, right? This is actually the level 1, and this is level 2, right? So we can say that it is also containing two levels, right? How we have different levels inside this one? We have different levels, right? One is extracting other is extracting again extracted by someone else. So it is actually a combination of multi-level and hierarchical, which becomes hybrid. Okay, so I hope that is clear. If you want to know in code how we are going to do it, so it's very simple. If you want to extract properties from two classes, right? So I can say that I want to extract from animal, comma, maybe some other class, like maybe let's talk that this is a special breed which is having the properties of animals also as well as birds also. So let's say that this is a unique animal which is having some properties of animals, having some properties of birds also. So that time you will say I am extracting some properties from animals also, birds also. Now can you tell me that which is this inheritance? Which is in this inheritance where this class is extracting from these two classes? Which type of inheritance is this?
Multiple.
Yes, perfect. Multiple. Why multiple? Because it's very clear. See here, these are, what do you write here? You write the parent class name, and what is this? Child class or derived class, and what you write inside is the parent class name or the base class name. So if you have two base classes, right, then you already know here that If you have 2 or more base classes, see here, base class 1, base class 2, base class 3, that time you will be actually calling it as multiple inheritance. So similarly, based upon the use case, you can use it. Okay. So when you will be starting building some good applications, right, that time you will find the use of this. Real world scenarios you will try to solve, right, that time you will see that you are using inheritance. Common properties are basically thrown inside a parent class, and derived class are just calling them and using them. Okay. I hope that is clear. We have different types of inheritance. One is singly inheritance, which only one base class, one parent class is there. Simple. There is multi-level inheritance. Multiple level means what? Multi-levels are there inside the inheritance. One class is inheriting some properties from another class, and another class is inheriting some properties from that class who has inherited from some other class here. This one from this, and this guy is inheriting again from this. So this is multi-levels. Multi-level are there. Hybrid means what? Hybrid is a combination of multi-level as well as multi-hierarchical. Then what is hierarchical? Hierarchical is only one base class is there, but multiple child classes are there. The way we created one animal class, but multiple dogs and multiple animals which we created, which are derived classes. That which one we created, right? That is hierarchical. Only one base class, but multiple child classes are there. Similarly, we have multi-level inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means what? Opposite of this guy. See here. Opposite of hierarchical is multi-inheritance. This is inverse of this. Base class, multiple base classes will come like this. Multiple child classes were there here. Now here multiple base classes will come. See here. Multiple base classes. Only one child class. Here what is the case? Only one base class, but multiple child classes. So that is multiple inheritance, where we have multiple parent classes but only one child class. And hierarchical is opposite of multiple, where we have only one base class but we have multiple child classes, and the combination of multi-level and hierarchical will form this guy, hybrid. I hope that is clear. If you did not understand anything, then you can just tell me.
Understood.
Everyone? Is it clear for everyone or no?
No.
Who did not understand? I think the 18.
Snehal.
Snail, 1 minute, I'll just come back. Day 18. Okay. Snail, what you did not what you did not understand? What you did not understand?
Last concept.
Which one? You understood first of all inheritance. Why we use inheritance?
Yes.
And how to do it in Python? How do you actually inherit? Then there is something called as type of inheritance. I told you. So types of inheritance. You understood singly inheritance.
Types of inheritance. You understood singly inheritance.
Singly is from
One base class is there. One base class, one parent class. How to convert this into only single? I'll just remove cow. Okay, come on. I'll just remove cow class. If I remove cow class, now what will happen? Only one animal class is there, which is base class, and one dog class, which is inheriting from animal class. This is actually a singly inheritance. Is this clear? Snail? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
No, if you did not understand, you can just say.
If you did not understand, you can just say.
No.
I can explain.
Network issue. There is a network issue here.
Oh, okay. So, which inheritance you did not understand? You tell me.
Multiple hybrid.
Multiple and hybrid. Okay. Multiple and hybrid is very simple. Where is my guy? This guy. Multiple and hybrid. What is the problem? Here. Multiple inheritance is very simple, where multiple levels are there. Okay, for example, I told you, right, your grandfather is there, maybe your father has extracted some properties from your grandfather, and grandfather is extracting some properties, you as a son is extracting some properties from your father. For example, there is an animal class, and inside animal class the cow class is extracting some properties from animal class, and there may be one more class which we can create, class xyz, which is extracting some properties from cow. This is multi-level inheritance. You are getting the point, Snehal?
Yes, yes.
Animal was inherited by cow, and someone else is again inheriting cow. So multiple levels have been created here. So it is called as multiple inheritance. Hierarchical is very simple. Hierarchical is what we actually saw, right? One base class we created, which was the base class here. Animal class was the base class. Animal class, that was the base class which we created, or parent class. And how many were the child classes? 2 child classes we created. One is cow class, one is dog class. And cow also was extracting some properties from animal class. Dog also was extracting some properties from animal class. So simple. So these 2 guys were extracting, so only one base class but 2 child classes. So it is called as hierarchical. Is that clear, Snehal?
Yeah, got.
Okay. That's it, I think. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, you can just ask, or else we'll wind up. I hope you will complete the assignment and you'll come.
Dada,
हाँ बोल की.
that last code you wrote, no?
हाँ.
That what you wrote and why you wrote, I can't understand.
Which one? Which one you told?
That last cow.
1 minute. Cow.
This cow is equal to cow. Bracket.
This code, nothing is there. See, when you let's say cow class we have, okay. I want to call this function speak that is available inside cow class. So do you know from basic that we have to create an object for this? Because it's not a static method. If it is a static method, then without creating object also we can call the method that is available inside a class. But since it is not a static method, if you want to call this function speak, how to call this function speak? First of all, you will have to create an object. Will you agree? Hello? Will you agree with this, Prakash?
Yes, sir.
So you will have to create an object first. If you don't create an object, then how will you call the functions that are available inside cow class? So what I did is, first line, I created an object. This is how you create an object. After creating an object, I want to call this function speak, let's say, or eat function I want to call. How do you call? Object dot function name, that's it. And this function gets called. But cow class is actually inheriting some properties from animal class, right? So directly cow's object which you created, cow's object can also call these properties that is available inside animal class. Although it is not, these properties are not available inside cow class. See here, eye color is not there inside cow class, walk is not there inside cow class, but still you can say cow dot walk, cow dot eye color, eyes, or not eye color, eyes. Why? Because it was inheriting animal class, so it has access to all the object of cow class has access to not only all the attributes and all the functions that are available in cow class, but it has access to all the attributes and the functions that are available in animal class also, because it is inheriting animal class. समझला? Any doubts or you want some more clarifications there? You want some more clarification or how?
Understood.
Fine. Any other doubts are there? So your most common questions for interview, we will discuss this, all the OOPS questions. Instead of discussing only inheritance question, I will discuss all the OOPS questions once itself. So here most common question would be, what is inheritance? You will have to explain inheritance properly. Simple way you can explain your own this what is there, right? body is extracting some properties from my parent or from my grandfather, so that is where we are inheriting some properties, right? Similarly, in programming, we have some lots of cases where we can inherit some properties. Like for example, all animals have some common properties, so that time I can use inheritance and I can use inherit the properties from my animal class. All vehicles have some common properties, so that time I can inherit all the properties from all the common properties from vehicle class. So whichever is like common, right, those all we can basically create a separate class for it and inherit from that. This is inheritance. Different types of inheritance they can ask you, that's it. No more questions will come here. We discussed single inheritance. You have to just tell one derived class, one base class, that's it. Not double inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple levels will be there. You can take an example and explain that. Multiple inheritance is there, where multiple base classes are there, only one single child class is there. And you can take examples also for this, okay. We have this one also, which is hybrid class, which is a mixture of multi-level as well as the hierarchical inheritance. So that's it. In inheritance, more questions will not be asked. That's the common thing which I told, what is inheritance and maybe types of inheritance, that's it. And how to implement that, how to write the code for that, you have already seen. That's very simple, nothing much. You have to just write the base class name inside the class you want to inherit, that's it. Any other questions are there?
No.
Fine then. Thank you so much. We will tomorrow see polymorphism. We'll try to understand in depth, because polymorphism is a very important concept. It will include method overloading, method overriding, all these concepts whatever are there. Now OOPS concepts is advanced concept, as I told you, right? But it's very simple. If you have understood classes, objects, why do we need, what is the use of that, on all those things, right? What is self and all? Inheritance at least is nothing, man. Inheritance is very simple because it is related to you. You are inheriting some properties, so that is what we are trying to implement here. But polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, this will be very interesting, which we will be seeing on further videos. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
दादा
हाँ बोल की.
दादा काय व्हायले माहितीये, काय ते मागचे माझे 3-4 लेक्चर मिस झाले ना, त्यामुळे काय कळत नाही मला.
हा, ओप्स तर तुला बेसिक्स माहिती नसलं नाही तर तू आज लाईव्ह बसायचंच नव्हतास ना. कशाला बसलास लाईव्ह? तू लाईव्ह बसण्यापेक्षा, तुझा 1 hour वेस्ट करण्यापेक्षा, यू कुड हॅव गॉन टू दोज लेक्चर्स अँड यू कुड हॅव सीन दॅट. तू 1 तास लाईव्ह बसून पण काय झालं सांग, काय समजलंच नाही. तुझं टाइम वेस्ट झालं. उरलेले जे कोण लाईव्ह बसलेले ना त्यांना समजलं, पण तुला नाही समजलं बिकॉज तुझं मागचं लेक्चर्स नव्हतं नाही. सो तुझं टाइम वेस्ट झालं. त्याच्यापेक्षा ना तू तेच टाइम युटिलाइज केला असतास ते बघायला. मला फक्त आणि केवढ्या लवकर संपवलंस असतास मागचे व्हिडिओज, तेवढ्या लवकर तू कॅच केला असतास लाईव्ह लेक्चरसाठी.
दादा तू आता फ्री आहेस काय मग?
आता
ऑफिस मध्ये आता उद्या
मी ऑफिस मध्येच असतो. आता फ्री नाही आहे मी, उद्या ऑफिस मध्येच असतो.
किती ते किती म्हणजे फ्री असतोस?
टिल 7:30 असतो भाई तुम्ही.
होय, ते
मॉर्निंग 11 o'clock
करून मला ते समजवतोस काय? मी तुझ्या ऑफिस कडे येतो.
काय काय काय
म्हणजे पायथनच्या उद्या तू म्हणजे असं काय लेक्चर्स घेत असतोस काय?
लेक्चर्स म्हणजे 2 क्लास सुरू असतात. एक तर मर्न स्टॅकचा क्लास सुरू असतंय आणि एक तर पायथॉन क्लास सुरू असतंय. आणि उरलेलं टाइम सगळं प्रोजेक्ट्स बनवायला आणि थोडं ते आमचे प्रोडक्ट्स वरती काम सुरू आहे. सो ते प्रोडक्ट्सचं आता ते एवढंच जरा काम आहे. ते प्रोडक्ट्सचं थोडंसं रिसर्च करायचं आणि ते प्रोडक्ट्सलाचं क्रिएट करायचं, सगळं ते बनवायला, ते एवढं पुरं वर्क सुरू आहे. सो दॅट्स इट. आणि काहीतरी, आणि फक्त हे एक्झाम्स आहेत म्हणून काहीतरी स्टडीचं प्लॅन मोस्टली.
काय तेच मी काय म्हणत होतो, आता ते पूर्ण बघायला पण टाइम नाही मला.
तुझा एक्झाम कधी आहे?
एक्झाम्स ते काय आता काय नाहीये तसं काय
मी
नाही.
तुला सांगू शकतो सोड, मी कधी फ्री असतो तो, बट अगेन इट विल बी अ शॉर्टकट वाटते हो मला. म्हणजे कसं होतं सांगा, हां हे बघा, अगर तू एक क्लास मिस केला समज क्लासमध्ये, तुमच्या क्लासमध्ये कॉलेजमध्ये, तर नेक्स्ट डे तुला टीचर एक्सप्लेन करू शकते ते 10 मिनिट्समध्ये एक्सप्लेन करते, बट दॅट विल नॉट बी द सेम लेक्चर विच शी हॅड डिलिव्हर्ड. यू विल नॉट बी गेटिंग होल इन अँड आउट ऑफ इट. तुला कॉन्सेप्ट समजते, खरं तुझं नॉलेज दॅट लेवल इट माइट नॉट ग्रो, आय फील, बिकॉज मे बी काहीतरी क्वेश्चन्स विचारले, सो आय हॅड टू टेक इट समवेअर एल्स. असं हे सगळं जे झालेलं असतंय, आणि इन डेप्थ जे काय काय असते एक्झाम्पल्स घेऊन, दॅट ऑल थिंग्स आय डोंट थिंक इट विल हॅपन, असं मला वाटतंय. बिकॉज अगेन द टीचर विल नॉट, I don't think she will take 1 hour and explain, right? 1 hour or 1.5 hour, whatever the time period is there. So that is what the issue is, what I